Hello everybody and welcome back to Healthy Cooking with Connor. Today we have the delicious and easy to make recipe of stir-fry Chinese pepper chicken. Like I said, it's incredibly easy to make and takes no time. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the to start with, you're going to want about 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken. Next up, you're going to want about 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. You're also going to want to cut and fully dice 1 onion. You're going to also want to cut up thoroughly about a handful of carrots and also 4 to 5 peppers. Next up is all the ingredients for the sauce. In here is about 1/4 cup of oyster sauce and 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. Here we have 1 teaspoon of black pepper and ½ teaspoon of white pepper. And this is about 1 teaspoon of rice wine. Next up is the rice. So we are going to be steaming rice. So you can either use white rice or brown rice. I wanted to use a more healthy option, so I went with brown rice. And the great thing about steaming rice is that it takes about the same amount of rice as it does to water, so it's the same ratio. That's about 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of water. So you're going to want to go ahead and first pour in the rice and then pour in the water. So we're going to start with the rice because it's probably going to take the longest to cook. You're going to want to start with plugging in the rice cooker. Next, you're going to want to add in the rice and then add in your water. Now, the great thing about the rice cooker is that it's incredibly easy to use. You just want to go ahead and flick this down to the cook button, and when it's all cooked and thoroughly steamed, then it will unclick for you automatically without you having to do that. So next, we're going to want to mix up the sauce. So you're going to want to start by putting in the black pepper and the white pepper. Next, you're going to want to add in the rice wine with everything else. And so, like I said before, you're going to want to dice up 1 onion, cut up about 4 to 5 peppers, and 1 handful of carrots. Before we move on to the chicken, you're going to want to first pour in about a 1/4 cup of olive oil over the frying pan. And then you're going to want to go ahead and just turn that on. Now next, you're going to want to take the cornstarch and you're just going to want to go ahead and lightly just tap it over here and try and coat up the chicken as best as you can. And now this helps to give it a golden, crispy flavor and texture. Once it's been fully cooked, that will make it just delicious. So once you've gotten most of the top side, you're going to want to go ahead and just start flipping it over so that you can fully coat all of the chicken. And then once you've flipped it over, you're just going to want to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. So once you're done coating the chicken, it should look a little bit something like this. So next you're going to want to take the chicken and put it into the frying pan. Okay, so as you remember, we've had our flame cooking, so we're going to want to go ahead and start by just going ahead and putting all the chicken into the frying pan. Now this is going to cook for a few minutes, and you can tell when it's done because it will have a nice golden coat on it and it will be very crispy. Make sure to also flip it over to cook both sides fully. You're going to want to make sure that you really cook it because uncooked meat, not very healthy. Okay, so now that your chicken's been sitting for about 2 to 3 minutes, and you flipped it over a couple of times, you're going to want to add in your vegetables now. And just go ahead and start mixing it around. Just try and get it evenly distributed. And in 2 more minutes, we're going to want to add in the rest of the sauce. So about now, your chicken should start to turn a little golden, and that's kind of a good indicator of when you should start pouring in all of your sauce. So you just want to go ahead and sprinkle that around here, get a nice even coating around, and start to mix it around. And then we're going to want to let this cook with all of the sauce for about another minute or so. Alright, so once all the chicken and the sauce and the vegetables are done cooking, it should look a little bit something like this. So you're going to want to go ahead and turn off your flame. So, once your rice has finished cooking, you're going to want to go ahead and So you're going to want to go ahead and get an even amount across the bottom of your dish, just for a nice presentation. So once you have a nice even coating, you're going to want to go ahead and just place some of the chicken on top of the rice. Alright, once it's all said and done, your meal should look a little bit like this. Thank you again for tuning in.